still can't play it. I don't care. It's the end of June. It's nearly July, and then it's August, and then I'm going to go to Edinburgh. Hooray! Have I got plans? No, because my show in Edinburgh is going to be largely improvised. I've got a plan. I've got a plan. My plan is I've got no plan at all. At all. My plan is I'm going to do every genre there's ever been. I'm gonna do anything that nobody has ever seen, 'cause I don't care. It's gonna be amazing. By amazing I mean I don't know. And it's a joyous, comfortable Saturday to Sunday to you, but I couldn't see the screen because it's too far away. But I've just moved closer. Closer. Yes, so I don't know what I'm doing. Hello, everyone. Hello. Yeah. So this week I've been up to some things. Just turn this off to save battery. I've been up to some things. I was supposed to go to Bilth Wells. Thank you very much, Chase. Bilth Wells. But unfortunately, the person that was supposed to give me a lift is ill. So that was very sad, but I thought, oh well, maybe I can get there on my own, because there was other people up there. I'm like, la. So I thought, public transport, how long does it take by public transport? Between 4 and 11 hours, not going there. So I didn't go there. I did a Zoom call instead. I think that's wise, really. This is unfortunate, because I've only been to Bilth Wells once, and it was in the night time, so I didn't see it. And it's when I used to work in the Brecon and Radnor Express, there was, I may have said this, there's a Y-side theatre there. So I didn't realise I'd been to it before. That was where the meeting was supposed to be. But I found an old cutting from when I used to work in the Brecon and Radnor Express. And I had been there, but I'd been there in the night, so I didn't see it. Somebody had given me a lift up. And the reason was, there was a whole story about how they had, it was about the same time as the Full Monty, and they still hadn't unbanned strip shows. They were illegal in Paris. So they still, even though they were illegal, they had like a male strip show up there, like Magic Mike, that sort of thing. And I went to see that with a friend from over the road who drove me all the way up there, and we came back and I didn't see it. I saw the show. It was there, but it was all right. But I didn't see the Y-side, so I still haven't seen the Y-side in the daytime because I didn't go there because it takes too long to get to. The public transport, the buses are terrible. The buses are insane. You cannot get just anywhere without any train, and there aren't any trains because somebody called Mr. Beeching got rid of them all in the 1960s, and there's just no way of getting over the mountains without the roads. You're like, They built Heads of the Valley Road, which cuts us. There's a lot of valleys going up, and then there's a Heads of the Valleys Road at the top of it. But you have to get to it, and then you have to get past it. So it's like everything is like la. Where now? Don't know. Country roads take me home all the way. So I couldn't go there. That was sad. But I did radio play yesterday without going anywhere, without leaving my house, because I think that the people are in Norfolk or something, or I don't know. The person that's doing it is far away from here, and they have got a studio booked for the people that are in that area, but they didn't have all the voices, and they offered it to other people, and I did one of them. Yay! So I did that yesterday. It was a servant called Lucy, and they did a West Country type sort of, I don't know whether it was a West Country accent. I'm not sure what the accent was that I did it. I read it and I did it and I sent it, and I was like, oh, well, I'll do it again if you don't like this. But they did like it, so it was all good. Hooray! So I'm going to be in a radio play. Turn it back on. Radio play! Ha! Yes, I'm going to be in a radio play. Yay! So the place from West Virginia. Imagine how Mama take me home. Country roads. Country roads. So hooray. And I also, because I'm on Ancestry, this is another thing that happened, on Ancestry.com, every now and then somebody that's a genetic link contacts me and goes, hey, have you got these people in your family tree? And I go, no, I've no idea who they are. I don't know how we're related, but we seem to be related. And I narrowed it down a little bit. And I followed where I was like, we can't be related to these people. You must be related to these people. There's only one place it could go. And I started looking. And all of a sudden I got loads of hints on that line that I hadn't really looked at for ages. And they were in Scotland. It was like, woo, Scotland. And I followed them up. And I followed them back to like 1590. And they were in Edinburgh. And I love Edinburgh. Like, I found some people from Leith. I was like, woo, Leith. I know where Leith is. And then on the other side, because by then it all branched out, I found some from Musselburgh. And I'm staying in Musselburgh this month, this year, this Edinburgh. So I'm like, yay. And I found a load of stuff online about this branch of the family, because some people had gone to America. Not the branch that I'm related to, but some people had gone to America. And I think that's probably how these people in America that contacted me are related. Not at all where they thought. They were like, have you got these names and these names and these names? Are you related to any of these? Are they familiar? They're from Devon and Cornwall. I'm like, no. But I've got Scotland. So it turns out that they're probably related to this person's mother rather than this person's father. So there you go. They were all keen to find their paternal... I'm sorry, it's your maternal. People tend to not like to trace. I like to trace all of it. I'm like, oh, I'm not just tracing the ones up the one line. You've got to trace them up the all lines. Chase them. But also, these people in Musselburgh were there around the same time that I looked into it. All the witch trials in that area. So like 4,000 people were like accused of witchery and craftery, and I'm like, oh no, I hope it wasn't any of my relatives, but I think my relatives were quite wealthy. But then again, there was a laird that got caught up in it, because I think there was a schoolmaster in Prestonpans that got accused of witchery, and he was like, oh no, Sir Francis, it was him, so he dubbed in the laird. So that was funny, really. So not really fun, unfortunate. But it was clever, I think, that if you're accused of something, then you accuse the people at the top, and they're all dragged into it. And it's like, well, you shouldn't accuse me. You shouldn't have accused me of stupid things, because, quite frankly, witchcraft doesn't exist in that way. Now, people call witches do exist, but they're not the same way, because the people that call themselves witches are not really magical. They are just people. Everyone is just people, and nobody has any magical powers. And in fact, the Scottish government apologised to all the people that got accused, but it's a little bit too late because they're dead. Can't really do much about it now, can you? It's like, oh no, Nicola Sturgeon apparently, sorry 2022, sorry about all of that. It's like, well, this was 1590-ish when this happened, and I don't think that they really care anymore, but nice to say that, thank you. Anyway, the relatives that I had in that area, hopefully not, they might have been involved. I did do a little search, and that's how I found it out. I did a search for the name, which was Hoge, Hoggy, Hoge or Hogg, but then I did a little thing, and one of them was the laird of something and had like a stately home. No, the branch that I'm related to is like the youngest son of the youngest son, so it's like we wouldn't have got that anyway. But that whole earldom or baroness or whatever it was got stopped at a certain time, because I don't know why, and then they gave it to General Field Marshal Haig, who's apparently distantly related to them. Then that's hundreds of years later. So I said to my dad, whose ancestry it was, because it's on that side, hey, you're related distantly to Haig. And he's like, oh no, he was terrible. It's like, well, he might be, but unfortunately, we cannot choose our ancestors. We cannot choose our relatives. If we could, we would get different ones most of the time, but we can't. unfortunately, very sadly, you're stuck with who you are. You can't really change who you are. You can change who you are, but you can't change who you were originally, unfortunately. That's who you're related to, and that's the end of that. Too late. It's in the past. You can't change things that you had no control over at the time, can you? No. Unfortunate. So that's sad. Because I think on another line, there used to be on Ancestry this thing where you could type in your name and it would go, these people, these famous people are distantly related to you, and it would trace it. But it was a little bit shonky, let's say, and they kept coming up with people that were like, I don't think so. I don't think that that's anything to do with me, because they were very much relying on other people's trees, and other people's trees are a bit wrong most of the time. Now, I think this one that I was doing is sort of right, because I checked it out. I was like, when I followed it up this line, seems legit. Might not be, but my dad has got like 11 to 12% Scottish in the DNA list. It's like, okay. So maybe it's true. Or maybe it's not. Maybe I did it wrong. Anyway, I'm happy because Musselburgh and Leith are where it's at. And that's where I'm going to be this summer. Yay. So maybe I'll visit all the kirks, which is the churches, and go, oh, and point to them and go, that's probably where my ancestors is buried. And I'll look around the graves and go, that looks like them. From that gravestone, that seems to be them. But I also found somebody, a great-great-grandmother. So the son of this person from Musselburgh married somebody whose first name was Grissell, Grissell, maybe only one S, Grissell. Anyway, Grizzle, and her surname was Dick. So she's called Gristledeck. So that's interesting. I've also got on the other side relatives called Anis Bastard and Fanny Salt. So Gristledeck's very much in that whole bracket. As I say, you can't choose your relatives. I probably would choose not to have relatives with such ridiculous names. But that's the names, and I can't really help it. Why? I mean, even then, I can't think, why would you name your child that? Why? It's bad enough you got that surname, but why did you add the first one? It's made it worse. It's made it worse. It's made it worse. It's made it much worse. Very much worse. So, a rose by any name. Yes, Gristledeck would smell as sweet as anything. That's her name. Don't wear it out. Don't wear out the Gristledeck. Anyway, so it's that sort of name that you'd expect to, you're accused of witchcraft with a name like that. Anyway, this was around the time that James I was going off to England and was quite obsessed with witches and stuff. And yeah, I'd just seen Mary and George, the miniseries Mary and George, which was all about James I and his favourite's mother, and all the stuff that was happening at the time. That was interesting. So I'd seen that, and then a day later, I'm like, ooh. Maybe my ancestors knew James I. I don't think that's anything to be proud of. He sounds absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Famously played, Tony Curran played him in this, who was Van Gogh in Doctor Who, and King James I was in Doctor Who in the Witches episode, the witchy episode with the hill and the stuff that happened. But he was played by Alan Cumming, which again is not. It's a bit of an unfortunate name. So James I in it twice, but he's not nice, and he's not the same person at all. And also, Alan Cumming's been on TikTok a lot lately. Not recently, but people have been posting Alan Cummings TikTok, the MC from Cabaret, and going, this is much better than the one with Eddie Redmayne that was on the Tony Awards. No, because the hat the Eddie Redmayne one I thought was a good performance. It was mannered and strange. Great to see you too. Mannered and strange, and what I would expect. And he's like, oh no, he's far too peculiar from the get-go. It's like, I would argue that he is peculiar, and if you didn't think that of the MC from Cabaret, then you weren't paying attention, because he's unsettling from the very start. No matter what you think of what is trying to be portrayed, you go, oh no, and then they reel you in, and then you go, oh no, we are the problem all along. It's like, yeah, you are. Everyone's the problem all along. That's the problem. But they'll come into everywhere. Everyone is peculiar. Everyone in Cabaret is very, very strange and very, very odd. Yeah, very odd indeed. So that's just the way I just attached to this keyboard now. I feel obliged to have a little musical in, if that is indeed music. It is. It is sort of music, I suppose. Yeah, so I've been looking at a lot of music and thinking I should learn to play music. I should learn to write songs. I should learn to do things properly. I should do things that everyone is expecting me to. But nobody's expecting anything of me. Nobody's expecting anything of me. Because I cannot play the keyboard. I cannot play the keyboard. I cannot play the keyboard, but I'm gonna try anyway. And then I'll turn it off. Yeah, so that's really what's been happening. What's been happening with everyone? It's the summer. There was supposed to be a heat wave last week. It was very hot in England. Everyone went, oh, very hot, but it wasn't hot here. Wasn't hot at all, except for yesterday. I went out of the door. I went outside and went, oh, too much for me, and went back in. But it wasn't hot on the days that they said it was hot. But then again, there was a heat warning, and it was a heat wave. There's 30 degrees, which is about 86 Fahrenheit, I think. And everyone all over the world makes fun of us, going, ha ha ha, that's not hot. We have that all the time. But the thing is, we're a very temperate, albeit, well, sort of cold area. This place is about the same level as Canada. So we're not the warmest place in the world. So we're not really set up for any sort of heat. And a lot of people say that the heat here is different to the heat everywhere else. I don't know really whether that's true or not, but a lot of people that come from much hotter places come here when it gets hot, which is not that often, but when it gets hot here, it gets very hot. It's just not made for it. It's like the same as there was like Leaves on the Line a few years ago. Leaves on the line on the very few trains that were left, and they couldn't run the trains anymore because there were leaves on the line. And we've also had a problem. Oh no, there's snow on the line. Those leaves on the line is a sort of every autumn thing. You'd expect them to be sort of geared up for that, but no, we can't run the trains. There's leaves on the line. We can't run the train. It's too cold. We can't run the train. It's too hot. We can't run the train. It's sort of in between. We can't run the train. So maybe that's why they shut all the trains down, because they couldn't run them, which is unfortunate because I'd like to go other places and I can't go anywhere because there's nothing to get. I mean, those buses, it's like if I got up in the middle of the night, I could have got to this place by midday, but I would have had to get like 8 buses. 8 buses? It's not that far away. When I was gonna get the lift, I'm right on the main road. They were gonna pick me up and then keep going, and we would have been there in an hour at most, which is nothing. That's reasonable. That's how much commute I used to do in London. Anywhere that I wanted to go to in London was an hour away. I tell you what, it's like I want to go somewhere from where I am in London to somewhere else. How long is it going to take? It's going to take exactly an hour. No matter what, it's going to take an hour. There's just something about it. That's a magic hour. It will take. It's the other side of London, an hour. In the middle of London, an hour. Just west of London, the east of London, the outskirts of London, anywhere will take an hour. I guarantee you. Wherever you are, wherever else it is. It took me 2 years to realise that some places don't actually take an hour because it's like public transport, and that you just don't get in the tube trains underground and you just walk, and then it only takes 5 minutes. But if you get on the tube trains, it takes an hour, wherever you are. So that's what I want out of anywhere. I want to be anywhere I want to be in the whole of the world in an hour. That sounds ideal. They should make that happen. They should have a transport network. I'm going to go to this place. I want to go to New York. How long is it going to take? An hour. I want to go to San Francisco. An hour. I would like to go to Brisbane, please. That's only going to take an hour. That's what I think should be. So they should invent that. So, because instantaneous travel's a bit much, obviously. Don't expect that. But an hour, that sounds reasonable no matter where you are. The other side of the universe. An hour, please. Just takes an hour. Just have a nice... Because the journey's nice. You don't want to be there instantly, because what's the fun in that? There. You want to have a little relax and have a complimentary drink and some nibbles and go, ooh, yes, I'm having this, and watch something. Catch up with something that you would never have seen ordinarily. I mean, these days with streaming services, you could got that. But I used to like... I've been on a few planes, and I used to like it that you could put the thing on the back of the seat. You could go, oh, I'll watch that program that they've put, and that movie that they've put specially for me that I never actually would watch if given the choice. But there's only like 4 things. I'll watch that now. I think that's how I watched Red Dragon. I was on the way to Florida, and I watched various other things. I can't remember any of the other stuff I watched. Oh, Catch Me If You Can, I think I watched on the way to New York. So that's that. Yeah, so lots of things. Oh, and there was the 4 Feathers on the way back from Florida. See, these are things I probably wouldn't have bothered watching if it was not for the fact that I was on a plane. So I've only watched 3 films in my life because I've only been on 3 planes. That doesn't make sense, because if you go, you have to come back. I've seen other things. I have been on planes, though. Oh, magical. But I know that I haven't been on a plane for a long time. The last time I went on a plane, it was to Edinburgh, and it was right up, and then it was right down, and it was like... It was the cheapest way to get there, because no trains, and it takes like 11 hours by bus. And I thought, oh, I think I'll get the train and the plane. So I did, but I couldn't hear anything for the next 2 days, and my ankles were all swollen, and it was bad. And also, I'd said something on Twitter, as it was then, about, oh, I've decided to get the plane. And then a year later, I for some reason saw a tweet that somebody had done about me, how I was a terrible, evil person for ruining the environment and destroying the lives of African children by taking I mean, it actually said something like that, by taking a plane. It's like, that plane was going to go with or without me. I think the fact I was on it is irrelevant. It's not... Yeah, the fact I was on it rather than on something else... I mean, I was going to go up there. It was like, and you're not funny anyway. And it's like, so they looked for an excuse to take me off their friends list. It's very strange. I don't know who it was. Actually, thinking about it, was it Fiona Harvey that was like the person in... I think it was. Somebody like that. Somebody weird. Yeah. Just in the back of my mind. Was it Fiona Harvey that was in Baby Reindeer? That's not in Baby Reindeer, because she's suing people that say that it was her in not in Baby Reindeer, and now she's going to sue me for saying that it was her that said that, but it probably wasn't her. Forget I said that. I don't want to get sued. She's suing Netflix for like 150 million, and all sorts of people are coming out of the woodwork now going, yes, I know her. So it's like everyone says that she's probably not her. Forget I said anything. It's all gone a bit weird now. Why did I say that? I don't know. Anyway, so been quite a week really. I've libeled somebody by mistake just then, and also I didn't go to Bilth Wells, so that was good. I did a radio play without leaving my house, and there was no Doctor Who. Oh no! But I made some Doctor Who videos anyway, but not here on the other, the one that's that way rather than that way. The other place, you know, the place where the videos are other videos. So you should go and follow me there, because not many people do, and I could do with the people watching me there. I don't make so many videos here because not that many people, apart from you lovely people in the chat and anyone that's watching this. I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much, because goodness knows, I don't know what's going on really. Anyway, so I'll play you out with another song that I'm just going to make up. Yeah, so I'll just change the tone of the piano. What shall I put? It will be... What's Cho piano? That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? Church piano. Is it a church piano? No, it says Cho piano. Harpsichord. Clachord. Celesta. Glockenspiel. No. Music box. Vibraphone. Marimba. A marimba. Hey, marimba, yeah. Hey, so we have reached the end of this lovely broadcast, and everybody say, yay, yay. It's a very interesting broadcast. Is this a broadcast? I'd say yes. So, happy June and happy July to come, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, thank you. And this is a marimba, but it's actually not. It's a fake one. It's a fake one. It's a fake marimba. Fake marimba. I should learn how to play these things, and it shall be Tubular Bells. I could play Tubular Bells. That was a massive success. Tubular Bells. Whoopsie. That sounds very strange, isn't it? Where? The Omen. That's not the Omen. That's the deleted scenes. Horror film. A horror film. Horror film? Yes, I don't know what I'm doing now. I never know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm going to put it back to church organ. No. Church organ? Yeah, let's have a church organ. Church organ. It is the end of the Sunday broadcast, and thank you for being here with me. This is a church organ, and it's very loud and very obnoxious, and thank you very much, and bye you two, and have a good week. Have a good week. Have a Alright, I'm definitely going to learn how to play this at some point. Not yet though. See you next week. Have a lovely week, and don't get too hot in the very, very hot summer sun. See you soon. Bye-bye.